Hello, all you beautiful beings out there. I'm your host, Samantha, and this is the Sage Witch Mooncast. While I like to share my working magical knowledge in this podcast, I also like to share my perspectives on life on this planet. And sometimes those thoughts are one and the same. Today, I wanted to share with you some big magic. When we think of big magic, perhaps we visualize grand candlelit altars. Or perhaps to you, big magic is a gathering of witches aimed at a common cause. Maybe it's dialing in the perfect time on the perfect day to cast your spell. Some, mostly because of Hollywood and fairy tales, believe big magic to be turning someone into a toad, and yes, I have had someone ask me if I could do that. But for me, big magic is something quite different. Big magic comes not from exotic spell components and complex rhyme, but from the very thoughts in our heads. After all, one of a witch's greatest tools is their mind and knowing themselves. How boring, you might think. Where's the fun in thinking? Well, buckle up, because we're about to have some fun. Big magic comes from knowing nature, her rhythms, and her cycles. I would like to read a quote from the article, The Roots of Celestial Herbalism, Plants as Messengers of the Stars, by Arun Das. In silence, an entire natural work is a magnetic composition formed by rhymes of the soil, with the highest notes found in the stars. For many, when we think of nature, we stop at the mountaintops. I encourage you to think bigger. Our planet is in perfect balance for life. From the sun comes energy, and from that energy comes our food. We eat that food and take up that food's energy. From there, we become master transmutationists. We take that energy and we channel it. We express it according to our will. A fist, an embrace, a wave, a dance, and so much more. Humans by nature are magical all the time. We are soil powered by starlight. We are much more than that. But for poetic reasons, I feel that description to be as accurate as any. Now, you might say that is just metaphorical, and wonder when we're going to get to the real magic. But I ask you, what is more magical than being a literal conduit for starlight? What is more magical than understanding this power is within you? It is your earthly birthright, ordained by the universe. That is why when someone asks me how they can be a witch, my response is usually, do you want to be one? If their answer is yes, then I will respond with, then you are one. Now get out there and start decoding the energies of things on this planet. If there is one trope I find accurate about witches and those studying the magical arts, is the image of the magus set up at a table lit by candlelight, surrounded by towers of various books. The top of their head barely visible as they scour through tome after tome of magical knowledge, seeking wisdom and just the right formulation for their need. I cannot recall how many times in my life I have found myself in this exact position. Papers and diagrams strewn about, and hopefully a nice cup of tea while I'm at it. Each plant and stone is a messenger from the stars. They carry within them messages from the universe, expressed uniquely in so many ways, and written thousands upon thousands of years in the past. These messages are the secrets of the universe, the arcane knowledge of the workings of things. When we learn about these plants and stones, we are learning the language of the stars. We are learning how to tap into them and how to align with them. Why is that plant associated with water? Because it acts as water does, or grows near it. Why is that stone associated with fire? Because it could not be formed without heat, or perhaps its color mimics that of fire. These are the unique attributes bestowed upon these plants and stones, and they can work for us if we speak their language. I can think of no bigger magic than the cosmic dance that allows me to be talking to you right now. We are so small, floating around out here in the cosmos on our little rock, but we're also incredibly big, as we are made from the same elements as that cosmos. We're an extension of it. You've probably heard in your life that we're made of stardust. This is not a metaphor, but scientific fact. Roughly 96% of our bodies are made from 4 elements: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. These elements were made from the deaths of stars and have come to us through several supernovas over time. When a star collapses, we call it a supernova. This is when the star has run out of fuel and it cools. The pressure drops and the star collapses, sending massive shock waves and exploding the outer parts of the star. From this comes a supernova remnant, a kind of nebula. The material from this nebula is now available to become another star, planet, or maybe even a new life form billions of years in the future. You are made of that. You might be thinking, well, that's a fantastic twisting of astrophysics to validate spirituality. But what is spirituality than our relationship with the natural world? Why can't we be inspired by these scientific facts? Why do our creators need to have a face or a body? I like to think that what created us is so vast and incomprehensible, it just cannot fit into a box. Perhaps that is why we give those creative forces faces and bodies, so that we can better understand them. And they are so much bigger than that, but that's a conversation for another time. I said that big magic starts with the thoughts in our heads. What is more powerful than in a society that wants you to feel small, knowing you are so big? When you know you are a part of something so grand, it can't help but do things like boost your confidence a little. It can help you to find your worth, your value. When you know those things specifically, you'll respond to situations much differently than you would if you did not. This knowledge changes the very way you regard magic and your life in general. For me, the little things seem very little, if not non-existent. That doesn't mean I ignore earthly matters. After all, the soil is a major part of my being. But it allows me to know better what energies I need or want to tap into. It at times keeps me from expending that precious stellar energy gifted to me from the universe on matters that, well, don't really matter. I have found that over time, since my witchly beginnings, I cast less and less spells. I feel that because I have dedicated so much time into finding those subtle energies and nuances in everyday life, I can better attune to them daily instead of only during full moons and so on. These days, full moons are usually a time of recentering and recharging. Sometimes, all I do is light a candle I have consecrated and charged from my altar and have a mindful snack with the universe. Am I perfect at this? No. I still, as an earthly being, faced with earthly challenges, find to be inspired by rage, pain, and suffering. But I always come back to this. It is the foundation of my spiritual and magical practice. Humans are special by the way they were given thoughts and choices as to what to do with the energy given to them. I will never arrive at perfection, but will forever be fine-tuning my connection with nature and understanding it. Who knows? Maybe I'll come close someday, but that isn't important. In the end, this is just a thought in my head. So that's about all I have for today. I wanted to take a moment to let you all know that I am still working on my Holistic Witch workbook, which should be coming out hopefully by the summer solstice, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated either way. Again, if you want to follow me or keep updated on what I'm doing, you can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Sage Witch, and you can also subscribe to my website at thesagewitch.wordpress.com. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and that you have the best of all seasons.